Hi, this is Christy. Today we're going to be doing this Hummingbirds with Floral Peekaboo Tumbler tutorial. Please be sure to follow me on my other social medias, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And this is the finished product of what we'll be working on today. I hope y'all enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. Hey y'all, I'm Christy.
And I'm Lulu.
And welcome to Lulu Ladybug Creations. I'm the maker behind the magic, and whether you're a fellow crafter, a custom gift lover, or someone who's here for creative inspiration, you've come to the right place. So grab your glitter, get comfy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell because a new creation is always around the corner.
I hope you enjoy the beauty of handmade.
Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working with today. I've already printed out these hummingbirds on a sticker paper. This is Crafter's Collection from JOANN'S. It's in purple. I've got Muse from Recollections, and I got it at Michael's. And then this True Lavender Extra Fine Glitter I got at Hobby Lobby. And I also got this FolkArt Light Lavender, also from Hobby Lobby. So I did go ahead and laminate the sticker paper, and I ran it through the cutting machine. Um, and we have here this 20-ounce tumbler. I got it from MakerFlow. We're going to prep it, sand it down, and paint it. I do remove all these little stickers from the bottom of the cup all the time. You don't necessarily have to. I see a lot of creators who don't. I just feel more comfortable removing it. But we're going to get this sanded down and prepped. So now we're going to clean off all that, I guess the dust that we sanded off. It's kind of like the top layer of the cup. We want it to where we can be able to easily adhere our glue to and so forth. So this brush here I got at Dollar Tree. Um, they don't have the Wet n Wild brushes no more, but they do have these now. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and paint the entire tumbler with that Crafter's Collection in purple that I got at JOANN'S. Now, if y'all don't know this already, JOANN'S has closed down. So, if my understanding is that Michael's will be taking over their overstock, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, we're going to get this tumbler covered up really well. And once we get this covered up, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to take Muse. It is actually extra fine glitter from Recollections. I got it at Michael's. And we're going to cover the entire tumbler with this. That purple is actually so, it's really pretty. It's almost electric, if you will. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and cover up the entire tumbler, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so my next step is to make sure the bottom is really covered with glitter. And then what we're going to do is tap off the excess glitter. And I'm going to let it dry for about an hour and a half. And then after it dries, I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray it with Rust-Oleum 2 times clear spray paint in a matte color. So my next step is to place 2 coats of epoxy and let it cure. I let it cure for about 2 days. I think it was about 2 days, maybe a day and a half. Anyways, it came out really pretty, and don't pay too much attention to my camera. I really need to get a good camera. Um, so anyways, it came out really, really pretty. So now what I did was I cut out a template that I'm going to use for the peekaboo part. And oh, you know what? I did forget to include this at the beginning. It's a cheap glitter that I got from It's Pretty Personal. It's Diamond Dust, and it's a touch of violet. Y'all really need to go get some of this. It's awesome to add to your epoxy. But anyways, I did cut out this stencil. I actually used removable, oh my gosh, I can't talk, removable vinyl to use as a stencil because I've been having trouble with the stencil that I purchased. So I'm going to have to shop around for a new stencil. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get this all measured up, make sure I cut it right. And I did. You want to make it seem like it's seamless. And I've been having trouble making it, getting my measurements correctly. So hopefully I got this one correct. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get this all weeded out and then placed on my tumbler, and we'll go on to the next step here shortly. Okay, so stencil has been all weeded out, and I've already placed my transfer tape on top of it so that it'll make it easier to place on the tumbler. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off all the excess transfer tape, and then make sure that I press down really good with this long squeegee, and that way it can make sure it goes all in one piece, or at least try to get it all on one piece. We'll go ahead and get this on placed on the tumbler, and then we'll move on to the next step here shortly. I wanted to try to use the squeegee to press down the stencil, and it wasn't catching. So I had to manually pull up the backing to the stencil, and it still wasn't working. So I'd had to lay it down by hand. Whereas you see me here pulling it and stretching it down to make sure that I don't leave any gaps or any bubbles. Now we're going to make sure that all of our stencils are all placed on the tumbler, and we're going to peel off the transfer tape. I am trimming off a little bit of the overhang that I didn't size it correctly, but that's no big deal. I trimmed it off with some scissors, and now we're going to get all this transfer tape peeled up. And I did have a little bit of trouble with some of the ends wanting to come up with the transfer tape, but if you could see, I just put it back on and pressed down a little bit harder, and then didn't have any issues with it after that. We'll get this all taken off the cup, and then we'll move on here to the next step shortly. So some of my seam didn't line up correctly, so that's where you'll see me kind of adjusting the stencils. I'm pressing it down with the long squeegee to make sure it's laid down really good, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to paint the tumbler with the next color. Here, what you see me doing is I'm marking off some little spots of where the stencil is in case I can't see it through the next part of the glitter phase, and that way I'll know where to start picking up the stencil. And I'm looking at the colors of the hummingbird. It came out really good, and I wanted to double check to make sure it would look good on top of that purple. So this is the next color we're going to use. It's FolkArt Matte in light lavender. I got it at Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to sprinkle over it extra fine True Lavender that I also got at Hobby Lobby. So the FolkArt Matte paint is going to be the adhesive for the glitter. If y'all are still watching, thank y'all for coming by, and please be sure to like, subscribe, share, give me any comments that you might have in the comments below, and be sure to tap that bell so that you'll be notified of the next video after this one. This tumbler, I didn't want to paint the bottom. I don't know if y'all see me looking at it there for a few seconds, and I was trying to decide. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut a piece of stencil paper. I'm sorry, transfer paper. And I'm going to cut it into the bottom circumference of the cup so that when I paint it with the lavender, I don't get no paint at the bottom, because I want the bottom to stay that dark purple. Okay, so after I get all this glitter placed on the cup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit and dry for about an hour and a half. And then I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray paint it with Rust-Oleum 2 times clear spray paint in a matte. I'm using matte spray paint. Okay, so here we are. I did spray paint it. I didn't spray paint it too much because I want to be able to still pull up the stencil. But that way, when I am pulling up the stencil, it doesn't get, and the glitter doesn't fall off the tumbler. So I know some tumbler makers like this part of pulling up the stencil when doing a peekaboo. I don't. It's a headache to me. Well, I'll take it back. It's a headache when it's little bitty, when it's so detailed the way this is. Okay, so here's the tumbler with all the stencil lifted up. And now what I'm going to do is see all that mess it makes. Oh, that's the headache for me. Anyways, I'm going to put 2 coats of epoxy over this before we go on to the next step of laying down the hummingbirds. Okay, so 2 coats of epoxy later, and here it is. It's really pretty. The only thing I didn't like is, I'll show you here in just a few seconds. But we're going to go ahead and clean up the rim and use alcohol to, I'm sorry, we used acetone to clean off where I made all those markings. But we'll get the rim cleaned up and see how the bottom, I didn't like the way it came out, the paint. I should have just did the whole thing with the light lavender. I just wanted some of that purple to show at the bottom, but I'm going to sand off the edge, and then what I'm going to do is clean it off with alcohol. After the entire, I went ahead and did the entire tumbler. But anyways, I'm going to use some washi tape. I'm going to try to fix the bottom so that it doesn't look so messy. Um, I use this light lavender looking metallic washi tape, and I'm going to go around the entire bottom part of the cup. And I mean, it looks better than it does without the washi tape, but it still didn't look good to me. I'll go ahead and play it till we get done through here, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I printed out these hummingbirds that I got off of Creative Fabrica, and I printed them on sticker paper. I covered it with laminated sheet. What I didn't do was I didn't cut through to where it would cut the image. So I'm having trouble. It's not working. I'm going to try to use some scissors to see if I can help where the cut seam is, and that's not going to work either. Nothing is working. Here I go in a second. I'm going to pull up the entire sticker sheet, and I didn't pay attention when I printed on this sticker sheet that it was transparent sticker. And overall, this whole little sheet of images is just not going to work out. Had it cut out correctly, it regardless, the transparency of the sticker paper is going to show through, and it's not going to look good. And I'll show you here in just a few seconds. I'm trying to push through the image to see if it'll go through, you know, with the, it'll help through with the cuts, but it's not doing anything. It's not budging. And I looked at it, and this is where I noticed, hey, it's transparent. It's not going to work. And I put it and see how you could see through it. And I just said, I'm done with this with this sticker paper, and it was thrown in the trash. Okay, so I reprinted the image on a different type of sticker paper. I used vinyl with a white backing, and I also didn't use a laminate sheet to cover over the sticker, the vinyl sticker paper. So I'm going to trim out my biggest image first and lay that down on the tumbler. And I was a little nervous because the nose, the beak of the bird to the flower was like very, very thin. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna really tear it or it's gonna not work right. But anyways, we're gonna get this lifted and we're gonna get it placed on the tumbler. You know, after I had this big image laid out on the tumbler, I noticed that there was white trimming around the image. And that's either because I didn't lay the sticker paper on my cutting mat correctly, um, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the whiteness around the image. So I'm going to do my best to trim away as much as I can. And I'm going to lay the rest of these hummingbirds down, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so all my images are placed on the cup, and if you noticed, I left a gap right here, but that's so that a name can be placed in that area. So the next step for me is to put 2 more coats of epoxy, let it cure, and then it should, I'll let it cure for about, I think I let it, the second coat cure about a day and a half. But anyways, this is the finished product. After all the headache it gave me with the stickers and whatnot, it came out very, very pretty. I really liked it, despite all the headaches. But here it is. I hope y'all enjoyed watching this tutorial. I can't say this time that I enjoyed making this one because it gave me a headache. Gave me some trouble, but it was worth it. It did come out really, really pretty. If y'all have made it this far, thanks again, and I hope to catch you on the next video.